Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to an Irongol Heavy Metal Championship match on Randomizer. I'm one of your commentators today, HS1, joined by Trenton. Trenton, how are you doing today?
But no, ask me after I wake up.
Oh, hey, considering I woke up around afternoon, yeah, I feel you there, but this is going to be an interesting one. And ooh, Thunder going with a nun, or nope, I haven't decided yet.
But yeah, he had a little misclick, had to remake his party, so he's doing that on the fly here. And hey, what's up with these class names here we're seeing, Magius?
Apparently we've got random promotion on, and I know, I forget who asked about having a preview for it and suggested it, but, you know, it does show you what your party will promote into when promoting. So we know that the fighter will promote to a black wizard, the black wizard will promote into a ninja, the white mage will promote into a knight, and the fighter will promote into a black wizard. So if Spellzapp decides to promote, their damage dealers will be Zoe and Cece, you know, promoting into a ninja and a knight respectively, and will then have two more black mages with both fighters.
I feel like with what we're seeing, going fighter black mage is pretty automatic, because then you know you've got that either way. Not entirely sure how I'd approach the other two, because I have never thought about this particular situation before. But, you know, variety is a good way to go, but if you got those two, you always have two-man strats to fall back on, so that puts you in pretty good shape.
Oh, not just that, but also starting out with a white mage, Spellzapp will be able to stack a lot of spells that normally a knight would not have access to, especially with level 4 magic or level 5 magic if they hold off. Same thing with the fighter having access to the black wizard spells, since they will have access to a lot more that the ninja, and promoting later, will actually have some decent damage dealing.
There is, of course, always the question of what's going to be your weapon. Fighters don't have that many great endgame weapons. I mean, they can do the Moss Immune, they can do Sun if you're desperate, but there's no Vorpal, so kind of reliant.
Still a thing, but we do have something special. We have Blurst. Not sure if you're familiar with that or not.
Yeah, so that can make other weapons better or worse, but it's also still going to be dependent on their base stats. So you would need a pretty high level blessed ice sword before you're gonna contend with a Moss Immune.
Also, it looks like Thunder's opting to go with a black belt. It's a red... Wait, that's a red wizard, not a red mage. Ooh, that's gonna be nice.
Could throw a lot of magic defense on that. Also, I appreciate the naming scheme that Thunder is using so that you don't forget what you're promoting into. If you're not taking notes, that's a good way to do it.
Considering we also have floor and entrance shuffles, the ability for a deep Topher, and towns being randomized among themselves, except for Colnaria, I think our runners are going to be taking a lot more notes, you know, apart from that as well. Also, the nice thing about that is, if Thunder decides to promote having a red wizard, although, you know, black belt normally won't be wearing equipment anyway, that'll add a lot of extra damage to that red wizard, and that red wizard could be able to swing like a good Massa swing, or, you know, not only have a lot of evade on that one, but promoting late. We've seen a match before with random promotions that, and our runners are off!
The thing about that black belt, though, is if you're gonna level it that high, you're probably gonna want to keep it. So that Harm Sword, wasn't sure if that was the Bane Sword or defense, but I think it was the Bane Sword because of how it was spelled there. So
also,
that's
a
a decent
-5. So -5 is it -5 attack? You know, -5 on the God, what is it? The hit on that one. Lots of early minuses. A wood +4 is very good on that one. I forget the stats on that one. Do you happen to have them off the top of your head?
I couldn't hear you on that one.
Sorry about that. I was saying they do have a wood armor +4 available to them, and I forget the stats, but that is still going to be a pretty good upgrade for the wood armor.
Yeah, anytime you get that much plus, it's going to be good. What really hurts is the bracelets being that far down. We've got Lit 3 at level 1, and that is a very nice sweeper spell. There's not a lot of enemies that actually resist lightning, so to have that for level 3 damage is going to get a lot of work done for us.
Not just that, but also having access to a, actual status spell in lock is going to be good, because I believe the lock fixes are on. Plus, we also have the new buy quantity instead of buy tens, still on alpha site though. So, and personally, there is mixed on whether or not people like that. Plus the auto sort option. I'm in the camp of auto sort. And if you want to choose to not use it, you should have the right to use it. But if you're forced to, you should have to. But also, with buy quantity, I'm a fan of, just the buy tens. I'm pretty sure you are too on that one. Ooh, we found a fiend already!
Found the volcano, and you're probably going to want to check the red D trap tile here. There's actually 2 trap tiles here worth checking out, if the fire giants will let us get there. But this is probably also a good time to mention that they cannot save on the overworld. Now, we didn't have any tents or anything to be able to do that with, but Thunder finds out that it is in fact carried.
Brought back to Corneria, which is the Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior / Dragon Quest version of this flag.
Magius, check your microphone settings real quick. So we've seen Thunderclaude cross the bridge, and maybe on the exploration to Provoca, although a reset out of that, you have to watch the bridge boss once again. Spellzapp setting up for the first trap tile check here. That's going to be wizards. The good news is you'll be able to clear them out with Lit 3. The bad news is they are hitting roughly as hard as a rocket-powered freight train.
Can you guys hear me now?
That is a significant improvement. We found the
Sorry
loot
about that.
is our red D chest item so far. And I don't think Spellzapp's going to worry about going back for that just now.
Nope, but we found Crescent Lake early on. I'm assuming that was Provoca, so... Ooh, and Chain +2. That is going to be very good. Extra Absorb, decreased in the amount of evade penalty, so that is going to be very good. Also, Life 2 at level 6, and we'll get a free key item check in just a minute.
Spellzapp went into Dwarf Cave, found the Elf Castle, and wanted to be sure that the NPC was there and not shuffled. So that is where we'll have to take the herb later on. Meanwhile, Thunderclaude just found the old men in the park. Well, they had the ship, so now he has a little bit more exploration availability. Spellzapp taking a little bit unusual walk around that dock tile there. Of course, he does that because there are no encounters on those spaces. So, getting a few more.
Very true, very true. Very, very true. And houses rolled high tonight. Although they won't be able to use them to save on the overworld, they still give a full party heal. So essentially, they are the elixirs of the game.
Sloths, 800 each is not a nice price. I always like to have a couple of them when I can get them, but this is just not a friendly seed for getting them right now.
I know, I'm a fan of just picking up the spell if salts roll high, and I've got the ability to have a free slot in any of the magic rows that I really don't, care about. I do not think we've seen that yet, but even so, we have Thunder exploring the sea right now. We'll probably get a check at Elfland and Elfland Castle real soon.
Chat pointing out soft serve vanilla. Yes, that's true, but vanilla is also expensive. So curious that neither of them opted to bring two people to be able to cast sweeper spells. They're just reliant on the one black mage that they brought for now.
For now, with the random promotions, which on you can see on Thunder side, if the reminder text on that one is fighter will promote to a black wizard, is black belt will promote into a red mage, the white wizard will promote into a knight, and a thief will promote into a ninja. That we know from Spellzapp side.
Thunder was able to pick up the loot, now just trying to get past the wizards at this point. There is a 10% bonus for each key item, so there is a very significant incentive for getting out with that.
Even if the loot really just sits in the inventory for now, it's going to be useful, as you said, for the extra XP.
These are some pretty high level HP wizards. I think they were pretty sure they were over 200, 230 range.
I believe, at least for enemy boss help, it is clamped, though the stats are not.
Do see Life 2 and Waller at level 6 white magic, which is not great. At least not in terms of the red wizard, but even for a white wizard, you wouldn't have a ton of access, or a ton of charges to be able to cast that.
Oh, that is actually going to be a huge benefit, though, because that white wizard will promote into a knight, and having a knight with Life 2 does actually allow them to survive and tank damage while being able to still cast that spell. And I think Spellzapp is learning that resetting out is not going to help.
We see Onrak down here at Elfland, but the key is for sale, and that's fantastic. We can go right back to Canaria. We have also seen Elf Castle at the Dwarf Cave, so we have two easy places to go to check with that key.
Actually only one, because Canaria Castle not being in its normal location.
Okay, fine. Well, that's still 4 easy treasure checks.
Well, true enough, true enough. I know, Floor entrance shuffle, craziness, shenanigans. I don't know about you, Trenton. I'm a fan of just saying the Irongol is what developed from the old shenanigan races, and basically they just decided to make it more of an official thing.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with having fun. That's what randomizers are here for. Let's see what's in Northwest Castle, and that's going to be Ordeals.
Which is an incentivized location, so they will have the ability to check through things if they get through the Pillar Maze. And with Click 3, I'm a fan of actually, early on, if you have access to a higher endgame area, bringing a black belt, especially with floor and entrance shuffle, because finding like a a small floor of ice or a small floor of end volcano or sky or something like that, and immediately having sweepers to net down some quick EXP is very good at getting that black belt online fast.
But the only thing I don't like about this play is he's only level 4, so he just doesn't have that many charges of spells. If he was a little bit higher or had 2 people to clear this stuff out, he'd be able to clear this, no question. Well, almost no question. But I think he's got 4 charges of Lit 3, and he's already used 1, so he has to do the entire rest of the dungeon, including a boss, well, a trap tile anyways, and you're probably going to want 1 charge for that, so he's basically got 2 charges for random encounters now.
Although having that chain armor plus 2 does help. Ooh, we found a sky floor already. Sky 1.
That's a pretty nice place for treasures. So is Mirage 1.
And then the Agama floor, too.
There are at least 2 trap tiles, if not 3, on that floor if you were so inclined to go checking for them.
And Spellzapp resets out. Hopefully they do realize that they will lose anything that they've gained. However, if they were to choose to wipe, and I think that's something that Thunderclaude might actually have realized that if they take a wipe, they get to save. Although they will lose half of the gold and be back at Corneria, it is still worth noting that this isn't a bad play considering that they have got the key. They can't save Owen the overworld, but this does help.
As far as key items go, thus far we have seen the loot in Volcano at the Red D chest, and we have seen the key for sale. There's the double zombie dragons. They're not hitting that hard.
Also, we do have that harm sword, although I do not know if Thunder still has it. I remember Spellzapp selling theirs, because it was worth a decent amount of money, that one. Although I am surprised Thunder isn't, if they're worried about checking the one linked chest in the pillar maze.
That is a nice little trap tile there where would normally be nightmares. 2 great white sharks this early. You can do a lot with that. A dragon sword ×2, that's the best weapon we've seen so far. A pro ring +4 though, that's hype.
Yes, that is. And throwing that immediately on the fighter so they can survive. Didn't get if the actual dragon sword was negative or positive, but ooh, the canal. That is useful.
Canoe. Big difference.
Sorry, canoe.
Sail through one, you sail on the other.
Still. They've got a lot of overworld progression now. They do have the dock at the Rubicon Desert. Can't speak sometimes, but still. Also, Spellzapp finding the drop down in Ice Cave, which is going to be useful on that one. Now, they do get to keep any items that they get or use, so if they end up wasting a lot of heal pots or anything else, they will have to buy them again.
Spellzapp ended up resetting out instead of taking the wipe to the giant wolf combination. Also, bracket level 7 is a little unfortunate. It's a great spell to have at low levels for being able to clear out a bunch of bosses like a Kraken or a Tiamat at even a lower level than you should be able to. Also, Thunder giving us a quick demonstration of NPC Guillotine.
I believe that's our first Guillotine NPC of the match tonight.
She had it coming.
I mean, I'm a fan of trying to get chat to actually do a count on that one, but that's me. Gotta have some fun with it.
Spellzapp here into Castle Ordeal, where the effort leads to the canoe, as we now know. We've not seen them really scout the trap tiles in terms of what could they do, where could they get stuff. Why does he have the Saber +3 equipped instead of the Dragon Sword? I don't understand.
Dragon Sword rolled negative, and Saber +3...
Still probably better.
I mean, I don't know the damage bonuses or that off the top of my head, but probably it's better on that one.
Oh, what an encounter! Don't run from that!
Oh.
That's double the experience you've gotten to this game!
Oh, definitely. I am a fan of, honestly saying, do like at least a few small app tiles that can help, even if it's early on, just because, you know, the EXP matters, and since you get to keep your EXP if you wipe, it is huge.
I burned all lit 3 charges on that, then wipe intentionally and go right back in.
I mean, you do have to, I mean, you will start back at Corneria, but yeah, I agree with you, that is
you're level
worth it.
12, and you've got double your charges.
Oh, I agree with you there, but Thunder opting to take the reset. Hopefully they do realize that they do not get to keep everything that they found, but Spellzapp getting through the pillar maze.
Now, I will say it's always tough as a runner to take time out of exploration to level, especially when you know your experience is only going to get better the more key items that you pick up. I just think sometimes it's really worth investing a little bit of time for a lot of potential gain.
Oh, I am in the same camp with you, Trenton. But ooh, we found the Lefenish. And Elven hospitality is on, so there will be an inn and a church there.
Clinic. This is the NES from the Nintendo in the 80s. We don't do things like that. It's a clinic.
I mean, it is in the JP version, but it's also a clinic as well as a tavern if tavern mode is turned on, which at present we do know that it is not.
Spellzapp has picked up the canoe out of the Castle of Ordeals, and Thunderclaude is working on finding out what's at the volcano today.
Wait, did Spellzapp just use a cabin?
Probably just for the HP restoration.
More than likely, I do not know if they... Oh, let's see in a minute. Yep, they have realized that they cannot save on the overworld, at the very least.
I mean, Falconic made this, so I think you understand that even before you look at the flags.
Oh, they don't even know the flags.
But Falconic made it, so you don't need it to know that part.
Yeah, that is true. It's Falconic. You have to realize it's like Falconic or Wilson. Ooh, we found Corneria Castle. They haven't found Topher yet, but they will get a freaky item, and it's the rod today.
Alright, so we'd be able to full clear the... Well, not full clear. We'd be able to get past the 3rd floor, the vampire floor of Earth Cave. And with the Mystic Key, there's 6 treasure chests here. Thunder's about to find out what's available.
Some money, a little bit of money, some more money. Will we have any items? A lot of money, and the Adamant!
Well, there's another 10% bonus for our runners. They probably realized that there is a bonus, but not necessarily how much it is at this point. Also, it's another potential free item, but we gotta find the dwarves first.
Very true, very
He's gonna
true.
go save that instead of exploring the ice cave. Actually, I agree with that. A little bit of safety, better in the long run.
I mean, technically could always just take the wipe to save it, although they would lose half the gold, but I agree with you on that one. Definitely saving to keep all of that money. So I gotta ask, Trenton, what do you think is going to be an ice cave?
Well, statistically speaking at this point, I would have to guess one of the Cardia Islands. But, since that's too generic of an answer, I'll say one treasure room from the Cardia Islands.
Well, let's see. You got the Cardia Islands correct, but since it is floor shuffle as well, we will not see this lead to Bahamut. We will see this lead to the entrance of Sea Shrine, with, of course, having a split. And wow, a Cure Hammer +5. Pretty
Cure
good.
Axe, actually, so that's the light axe, which is going to be stronger than a silver sword, and +5, it's going to be significantly so. So, wisely equipping that as the new weapon of choice. That should do a lot of damage. The accuracy is not great, but the plus will help on that front.
Oh, very true, very true. And with that cure, at least at the very minimum, you can use it to heal yourself if needed. So that is a positive. And
there's
found
Garland.
Temple of Fiends.
So this is quite the entrance to come to. We already know that this is where Topher is. We know this is where Garland is. And we have an entire other side to explore.
Not just that, but we know that Temple of Fiends is not that deep tonight, so that will help when needing to go to Temple of Fiends, so that way they don't have to slog their way through a, like, 9-10 floor dungeon before they can even enter Temple of Fiends.
And Thunderclaude has a nice new statue for his collection. Hopefully he's able to purchase a few softs to deal with this, because that's unpleasant.
And apparently the Spellzapp resetting out of that Procate +1. Hopefully they noticed that they lost that. Although I am surprised that we haven't seen more runners take advantage of that fact that if they wipe, they will get a warp back to Corneria, which can be useful for overworld accessibility and overworld movement, since the ship and the airship will be placed right near there if they have such, items.
Now the other thing is there is trap tiles here that would normally be gargoyles, and it looks like Thunder's exploration with the Mystic Key is about to find out what that is. But the wolves are not cooperating. They are very rude today. It turns out to be the double fires. This is not good news for them.
Oh, very true. Also, Falconic put in chat, he does not think Spellzapp has realized that if they wipe, they get to keep their items and get a free warp. I don't know how much they know about the latest stuff on the alpha site, but finding an Invis +5 weapon, I'd assume that's the defense sword, Trenton?
That is the defense sword because it's in all capitals, so he's not going to be able to equip it yet, but on class change, that is a phenomenal weapon for the knight.
Oh, very true. Also, Spellzapp picking up their adamant. And as a positive, I think Thunderclaude has realized that on a wipe, they do get to keep their stuff. So this is actually pretty important for, going forward, because every time Spellzapp resets out of something, they will be losing their stuff, unless they have saved. Whereas if Thunderclaude actually wipes here, they will keep everything they have found and only lose some money.
Thundercloude's going to take the chance against Garland. Do you go with Zap Strats, or are you going for the damage with the Lit 3?
Considering boss HP is clamped, well, let's see. Going for the Lit 3.
Garland didn't hit the first round.
Misses the second round, but gets done.
And the princess is rescued, so that works out for Thunderclaude pretty well.
And we will see opting to walk it out, I guess. Not trusting to check on that one.
It's too far back to town. If you figured out the Dragon Warrior mode, I would go to the other side instead.
Oh, very true.
House for MP actually is a good reason.
Oh, very true, very true. I'm sort of hoping Thunderclaude takes a wipe here, just so that way they will finally check their stuff if they haven't realized it already. Realize, oh wait, I still have this? What's going on?
But like I said earlier, Lit 3 can do a lot for you because there aren't many monsters that resist it. So even if they're not weak to it, it will still take out a lot of the low-level stuff.
Oh, very, very true. Very, very true.
Meanwhile, we see Spellzapp finally on the move towards this volcano and ice cave, and soon we'll start catching up with Thunderclaude on the information.
As Falconic pointed out in the chat, it's just a, walk back on that one for Thunderclaude. Opting to, be a little bit ballsy there. And let's see, Spellzapp is on their way to Ice Cave as well.
Question in chat, does anything resist lit? Yeah, there's plenty that resist lit. Waters come to mind. Most of your elementals would actually resist it. Bosses would resist it frequently, and golems in particular.
Oh, very, very true. I do have to say, though, that Lit 3 is one of the most powerful spells in the game, if I recall. Although, for those that are wondering why waters resist Lit, they apparently are affected by ice spells more than lightning. Interesting design choice for the developers on that one.
They actually have a vulnerability to
it's okay. It's okay. But we'll see what the princess gives us today, and the bottle. We haven't seen Gaia yet, but that bottle will be used once they get to turn that in.
With the ship, we haven't seen anybody attempt to go north yet, but they don't have the canal to be able to do that yet.
We do know that the dock at Anrak is not on. they only have Southern Open Progression, and Spellzapp manages to get through.
They'd still be able to go to ordeals with the canoe.
That is true. That is true. Didn't think about ordeals until you just mentioned it.
That'll happen. There's a lot of subtleties that, with different flags for different routing options, you have to consider. I got used to that in my early vanilla days because by about my third or fourth playthrough, I'm like, okay, how can I break this game as much as possible? And then I noticed on the map that I could take the boat right to ordeals and get the Zeus gauntlets, and I'm like, okay, let's do that.
I mean, you want to talk about breaking the game? Have you seen that the vanilla speedrun literally now has a RNG manipulation category, which is single segment?
I've not only seen it, I've actually contributed some information to the project, but F. Coughlin
Nice.
did a wonderful thing with that. It's fantastic. He's not the only one who's done it now. I think 3 or 4 runners have gone there, but Fred Coughlin started that work, and it's a lot of fun to see that.
I know that it's existed for a while in the task community, and it's one of those things that I'm happy as anything to see that. I missed what was on the left side of the Sea Shrine split, but we have Spellzapp opting out of the Ice Cave for now.
And I think Thunderclaude has another statue. Okay, we're fixed. He's got a few softs.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a marsh cave, the north side of marsh. So 4 treasure chests up there.
Still early on, very good to check some of the stuff. It looks like we're going to be seeing that right now. Power 4.
Be nice if it gets more money for you on selling it.
Oh, very true. A heal pot, or was that the antidote? Either way, some more money and some more money.
Now Spellzapp grabs the bottles, so that much more experience, and they really should be able to start getting more levels now, whether or not they take a dedicated effort to it.
Yep. Looks like Thunder, walking through and back on that one. I know Spellzapp has played a lot of different seeds. He's the Irongol champion for a reason, as was the spring tournament champion as well. So Trenton, if you were our runners, where would you go? You've seen a lot of locations. What would you think would be the best play right now?
I don't think we've seen somebody actually go into Marsh Cave yet. And the other big thing is we've not seen, if I'm correct on this, that Elfland treasure yet.
I think you're right on that one. We have seen the Sky one leading to the Mirage one leading into Agama floor of Volcano, which I don't think any of the chests there have been checked either.
Alright, Chad updating me that that's actually where Ice Cave was.
Ah. I mean...
So, yeah, that's an incentive location, so it looks like even when wrong, my instincts were in the right direction, because that's probably our progress.
Also, Arachnids having Temper.
That's great, actually, because it's just a free turn.
Too true, too true.
I feel like this is the 3rd time we've seen the bottle pickup.
Yes, it is, because I believe Thunder reset out of it and realized, oh wait, I didn't save that. I don't think either of our runners have caught on that if they wipe, they get to keep their items.
So by the way, that Opal -3, I'd probably sell it, because there's, in all likelihood, going to be 3 ARM items better than that. Well, we've already seen the Pro Rings, so as long as they're for sale, that's going to be better, and I'd just sell the Opal.
depends on what the gold bracelet rolled as well. I don't think we have seen one of them yet, so...
That wasn't the bracelet, that was the arms.
Ah, ah, ah. First thing I thought of was the bracelet on that one, so yeah, I 100% agree with you on that one.
Gonna get a level 8 magic check. Harm 3, and just plain old lit. So, the rare check of level 8 magic, and it turns out nothing for us.
I know.
Which-
Oh, go ahead, Trenton.
that means the worst that... Well, actually, there's another level 8 shop, so I can't even say what I was gonna say. My point was wrong, so I withdraw the statement.
It's worth checking the fan anyway for the last slot on that one, because I know some runners forget that the other shop in Gaia exists. However, these two, being such excellent runners that they are, will probably remember that one.
So, meanwhile, I wasn't sure if Spellzapp was actually going with the two-man strats, but it has worked out that way, so that's what Spellzapp is doing for now.
I mean, you take what the game gives you. If the game won't let you keep an ally alive, start realizing, okay, I've just gotta go for it and just keep them going. I've learned to do that with red mages. I'm pretty sure you've learned to do that at some point as well.
Spellzapp has really been skipping stuff. I mean, not even just trap tile fights, but stuff that would be quote-unquote free to get.
Again, we do know Spellzapp has yet to have a wipe, so has probably yet to realize that if they wipe, they get to keep those items.
Those mummies are extremely low on their HP. Just a harm 1 is clearing them out, and that's phenomenal.
Oh, very true, very true.
So the good news about two-man is you're funneling all that experience into 2 characters. It's basically doubling your experience that you're getting per fight.
Oh, very, very true. And an Earth Elemental, leaving Spellzapp down to just the fighter. But the floater! Is this even?
Shame to leave that fight behind. So many wizard mummies. Honestly, the fastest play out of here would actually be to wipe. So I'd go check the Frosty trap tile, see what's there. How about the drinking heal strats? You don't see that much.
Oh, very, very true. And I agree with you. The fastest strat would be to take the wipe, walk, and just know that you have the floater, and immediately be able to walk to go to the desert.
Yeah, so to me that would make the best play here. Go check the trap tile. If the trap tile wipes you, you save time. If it doesn't, you find stuff.
Spellzapp just took the wipe. Isn't checking
Checking
menus
his
out.
inventory, he doesn't know.
You are right.
Going back.
You are right. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Can't wait for him to check the inventory.
I don't think he reset Falconic. I do believe he actually took the wipe.
He did take the wipe. He did. It said party perished, so even if you reset out quickly enough, quickly, that should still allow for the save. However, on Thunder's side, I don't think they have realized just yet on that one, but I could be wrong with Falconic. Oh, this is gonna teach him. Okay, right now he's gonna find out. Wait, what?
Okay, I see what Falconic is saying now. It would take you back to Canaria, so if he had clicked through the wipe, he would have been in a different town, and that's how he's...
I see. It still did pop up with the party had perished, so I wasn't sure on that one. If we're not, you still have to reset
Wow,
to
look
go
how
back.
low HP these mummies are. Even the whiz mummies are 60 HP.
Nice.
That trap tile is just so amazing for the early game.
Oh, 100% true. 100% true.
I mean, worst case, 2 casts of harm are clearing it out.
Oh, too true. We probably won't see Spellzapp checking any of the chests here because they want to get that floater out, as again, been resetting out enough to not realize that taking a wipe will save that floater.
It's a weird thing to adjust your mind to. Now, maybe if you are a Dragon Warrior randomizer player, you'd be more used to the concept and gravitate towards that a little faster, but also it's an alpha flag, so it may be a case that this is their first seed playing with it.
I think it may be the first seed playing with that, although they are, though I'm pretty sure both of our runners have played with the no saving on the overworld flag. So they are skilled at knowing that they just have to check ins, just have to check other stuff like that. And Thunder opting to check the 6 chests on that one. Finding some Mudgalls, which aren't that bad as far as EXP goes, but nothing like the, ooh, they have Invis too.
Invis 2 is not great, also their damage is pretty strong, but it looks like their HP is low enough that it's one shot from the fighters, and that's pretty good.
Yes, it is. Iron +4 though. Not much there, but still decent armor.
I mean, to go from wood to iron is pretty good.
I mean, I'd make the going from the Stone Age to the Iron Age, yeah, that is a good one. Now, we do have to wonder whether or not Thunder, as I'm not sure if they've realized that if they save, you know, if they wipe, they do get the save, because I know they have wiped some, but as
I'm pretty sure Thunder has reset out of every single one before he even took the last hit, so I don't believe at all he's seen that.
So I know in the early game they did take a few wipes, but even so, 100% agree.
By the way, Thunder has also done another little game manipulation here. He's put the deceased party member in the second slot, which means overwhelmingly enemies will target that fighter now instead of the black belt white mage.
Oh, very true. I think that's one of the little things that I do know I personally forget about, but even so, that is a good thing.
Well, it's something that's vanilla behavior, but not exploitable in the vanilla game, because anytime the battle ended, it would reorder your party automatically. So it was one of the quality of life things they added. It wasn't even there in the original versions of the randomizer. I'm trying to think of when it came in, but I think it was version 1.5 or later that even came in.
I got a copy of 1.4 somewhere, and ooh, we found Provoca, and it's got Temper. But I believe you are right on that one. And Fade level 2.
Sweet. Also, Ruse is non-trivial. We don't have the defense sword for casting Ruse, so a knight being able to Ruse could be very significant.
Not just that, but on promotion as well. That also Pirate Fight, so let's see what Pinky gives us today.
Not gonna turn your nose at that. It's a very easy experience because they are one of the lowest HP base enemies in the game. Even if you do it to 300%, it's not that many. You got the tail.
Now that is going to be an interesting, item, as we do know when the actual classes promote, they will promote into different classes. So you now have the thought of, when do I promote? Do I promote?
As it stands, I see no reason to promote. We don't have any equipment that justifies it. We don't have any spells that justify it. Right now, your best strat for the end game is leveling up that black belt.
At least on Thunderclaude side, I agree with you. On Spellzapp side, though, does not have a black belt. Finding the other part of Titan's Trove, which I have to say a few of our runners.
This is a big one for Spellzapp because we've got that adamant to turn in.
Yep. And the crystal.
Alright, so now we need Matoya. He's also got the Mystic Key, so a bunch of treasures to get here. And of course, the obligatory Hooray, Dwarf!
Yep, hooray! Is that a Katana 5?
-5, I believe.
We'll probably see in a minute, though. I mean, if it's a +5, that is stupidly good. If it's a -5, it's just junk.
We did get a heal helmet, though, that was a plus, so as far as absorb, that's going to be probably the best a knight can get.
Oh, very true. Very true. And looks like Thunder trying to get out of there.
Guessing because he went out so fast, he's looking for NPC checks right now. Of course, there's also the towns, and level 3 and 4 magic are pretty big, and level 3 warp is very nice.
Very, very true. And at level 4 white magic, we have Lamp, Rub, Invis 2, and Exit. Invis 2 and Exit are pretty good, although the Exit, I believe, is White Mage's lock. Is lock going to White Mage?
I think Spellzapp set up his party with the 100% expectation of class change because he didn't bring that black belt.
Ooh,
but,
Nuke.
Yeah, Nuke at 4, just everything we're seeing, this is not looking like a class change seed.
Very true. And looks like Thunder gets out of the Marsh Cave, opting to pop one of those houses, so essentially elixiring up. Even though we can't use it in battle, I still call it the FF1 version of an elixir.
So it's still missing a bit of progress options. We've got the crystal. I don't think we have any other turn-ins right now, at least not that I'm thinking of. So
Bottle.
It's Bottle? Yeah.
Yep.
So hit the other towns looking for Gaia, probably, and also hit the islands and see if we can find Matoya up there somewhere.
Oh, very true. I still don't think any of our runners have figured out that if they die, they do get a save, as they have been constantly just resetting out, because I think, honestly, we probably won't see them figure that one out until one of them gets really frustrated.
I don't think we will see them, because Spellzapp should have seen it, but he reset anyways. Even though it wasn't any faster, he just, on instinct, reset.
Oh, very true. And also, Thunderclaude getting their airship and immediately going to check the Gaia location, finding Provoca. Ooh, a metal slime tile.
Nuke is nice and non-elemental, so is Fade. And yeah, they're going to be rolling up HP. We're going to clear that out quite easily. And I'd be happy to take several levels here and get up into the teens decently.
Oh, very true. I 100% agree with you there. And ooh, there's our Vorpal.
No, don't warp! No!
Oh, I see. Remember, they still haven't figured out that if they wipe, they still get that EXP.
That's fine, but kill a couple of the slimes, then warp.
Agree with you there. Agree with you there.
So there's different times and places where it's not worth it, but if it gives you more spell charges, if it just makes everything work for you rest of the way, and it's that easy to do, you are going to pick up time just grabbing a couple levels. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to force that to get you into the 20s, but 2-3 kills there do a lot for you.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Also, looks like we will see a carry fight on Spellzapp's side.
This is their attempt number 2 for the runners. Zap was not enough to carry the day last time.
Yep, so let's see. Swing for 2 hits, 69 damage. 64 damage, sorry. Nuke coming out for 113. Expert coming out, hoping to strip those elemental resistances, and fails. 5 hits from Carry, so Carry's at least hitting a little hard, but not that bad. Fade coming out, 111 damage. 4 hits, 81 damage from Carry. 3 hits from, I don't know which spider that was, 128 damage from that Nuke. Also, we found Zardia's side on the item, and it looks like the TNT, also Fade coming out. That went 300 damage, and Spellzapp gets carry one down.
The TNT pickup gives us another turn in back with Narek the Dwarf. Carrie had a lot of hit, but not a lot of power behind those hits. There's the first floor Earth Cave, so there's a bunch of treasure you can check there. There's also 3 different trap tiles if you were so inclined, but they are obviously not at this point. And that's Astos, which we do not have the crown, but there is the key-locked rooms. Thunder! Even the key-locked behind. You could take that without a fight.
Not just that, but also, again, checking 2 trap tiles, and looks like Spellzapp is taking your advice and actually checking and grinding out some of these metal signs.
Yeah, again, this isn't a play that justifies a huge investment of time, but just to knock 2 or 3 of these out with the charges you have, it just is going to make everything run better the rest of the way. It's a domino effect, is the theory of it. In fact, I wouldn't heal the poison, honestly.
Exiting out, probably going to go save those levels. I can't wait until we can pull these runners into the booth and ask them, did they ever thought about wiping to see if, or if not, they got to save after the wipe. Also, Pure 3 at level 7, and we have found Gaia at the Fen spot, so we will see a bottle turn in.
So he knew either it had to be here or Onrak, and if it hadn't been this, it would have been Melmund. So, pretty much was a lose whichever way you go situation.
Now, I don't know if we have seen if or not Zozo Melmond is on or not. Personally, one of those flags I do love seeing. Same thing with the Confused Old Men. But let's see what the fairy gives us today. The Chime.
Well, the great news about that is Mirage Tower is very close to here, so it'll be quite easy to go check that entrance.
Too true, too true.
Meanwhile, we're still missing a lot of the Fiend dungeons at this point.
I'm probably sure a few of them are deep into some of the dungeons that our runners haven't started exploring yet.
Alright, Thunderclaude is going to make the Mirage play, and survey says that is Mirage 2, in fact.
Yep, greater than less than room, so decent amount of items here. Cerberus is not being able to be run from, but looks like again, ooh, we have a vanilla power bonk, I believe. Where's that? The Zeus gauntlet.
I'm not sure which one it is. It's going to require class change. Actually, I think Zeus would not require class change for a fighter to equip, but probably does.
The power bonk doesn't either, but I'll defer to you since you have more EXP than I do on this one.
Hooray! Zeus, the biggest thing I remember about it is it's Red Wizard equipable.
But either way, having a positive to that one, as well as having its vanilla saber, is very good.
Alright, TNT turns into the slab. We don't have Melmund yet, but we can, by process of elimination, realize it's at Onrak.
Katana, it was a -5 on that one, so not really that good.
All it is lunch money to us.
Yep. Yep.
We had a vanilla Vorpal, so with a ninja, you absolutely use the Vorpal over that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Hooray!
Spellzapp into the deeper floors of Sea Shrine, where, of course, one of these rooms you may have never realized as a kid was actually locked by the Mystic Key. Randomizer, you find out these things.
Also,
Spellzapp also finds out it's a lich.
Lich. So swings, 2 hits, 23 damage, Fade coming out for 300 damage, Blaze coming out from Lich for a bit of damage.
Quite a bit. No Quake to use here, but Spellzapp gonna try Zap because, well, it's in the name.
Yep. And let's see, Nuke coming out for 100, and I think, was that 60 or 90? Anyway, still coming out. So 3 hits, 46 damage. Fade coming out, 256, and Lich 1 goes down.
Lich doesn't have that much HP on his base, so even if he rolls up significantly, it's still not going to be so high that if you have enough turns, you're going to get him down with those high-level spells.
Oh, very true, very true. I think it's Ragnarok's actual ult strike for Lich, which is basically a speed bump. Because, of course, matching the memes.
We didn't see that Oasis shop because we already have the vendor item, but if you're short on supplies, that could be a place to go.
And we found Melmond.
Unfortunately.
I mean, let's see, Harm 4, Cure 4, Heal 3. Cure 4 and Heal 3 being very good on that one. Probably going to pick up both of them and, alternate between the two depending on the party composition. Also, Fast and Ice 3 at level 5 Black Magic.
I mentioned it earlier, this just really hasn't felt... that Pro Ring +4 being for sale is phenomenal, so our runners will gladly pick that up.
Apparently, we do have Zozo Melmond on.
As long as their script isn't bad, that's a pretty nice thing. In fact, you may want to experiment and see what the first encounter is. I had one run where that was pirates were the first encounter. Well, that was pretty great for the early game, but as I say that, they really don't need it at this point, so their levels are higher than anything.
Very, very true. So we'll get to see what's in the waterfall spot today, and we have another Earth floor. I believe this is Earth 4?
Fourth floor, right after the vampire.
So let's see, money, Cure, another light axe, today a Cure 5 hat, and a fire hat, and a 91 gold.
So as far as equipment goes, we still don't really have a lot of reason to class change. We've seen a Vorpal pop up, and we've seen those helmets, which are class change locked.
I mean, we have seen a katana -5, which essentially was just lunch money. Although the Black Mage promoting into a ninja, throwing that on, 100% agree that is not worth it.
Chat noting about the better trap tile treasure. Yes, that is on, so that a little bit better if it's guarded.
It is always a benefit to note that one. However, our runners probably haven't figured this one out yet.
They've really avoided a lot of those trap tiles. They've gone for incentive spots far and away the majority of the time, which is not a bad strat.
It's not a bad strat. I think it's because they know they can't save on the overworld, so they're playing it a bit more cautiously, which is understandable on that one. I'm still waiting for one of them to... I think we're still waiting for one of them to figure out that if they do take a wipe, they do get a free save.
Spellzapp is going to check out this other room here. That's a decent chunk of money, but that's all you get.
I mean, don't ever underestimate the free house and the pure potion. But again, not worth it as much now, unless those end up like saving you later down the line, but most of the time probably will not.
Those wizards have horrible HP. They're over 150. I don't think they get caught in boss shuffle because they are a random encounter first and foremost. But yeah,
I
they resist most elements, and then they do not resist lightning.
And it looks like we have found the waterfall. Looking like the normal waterfall today, so the procedurally generated waterfall is not on.
Make it a little faster to get through, and also a better chance to see out of bounds bet. Meanwhile, these golems do not have a lot of HP. They're under 120.
Which is very good. Especially if you want to try to grind a black belt or other classes on them, they do have some good EXP, although that does drop later on, once you get some higher levels, but it is still worth it on that one. And Spellzapp getting great RNG for the robot, getting the Oxy out too. Oh wait, it was Astos all along, so we did have random Astos.
So does that mean we had to have the crystal to get this item? Boy, that would have been a troll.
I do believe it's just the,
Hi, Blue Dragon!
with random Astos, it's whatever you do an NPC turn in, it could be Astos instead of that NPC, if I recall. However, I have not had a chance to try out that flag myself, but that's, I think the gist of it, at least according to the site's little question mark thing to figure, to let you know what it is.
Ice Sword -2, that heal staff. That's probably still pretty close. The Ice Sword might be better.
And of course, Spellzapp opting to get out of dodge and save.
I'll tell you, if I was going to run this a lot, I would have a quick reference chart of probably 10 weapons on it just to know the plus or minus and see them at a glance.
I know, I know a lot of runners have opted to just start using the status menu to check those real quick when they really aren't sure. But also a free pro ring, a silver helmet, checking those trap tiles. We have a frosty tile.
Looks like their evade is pretty up there in taking over 200 HP to kill them.
I mean, it's not bad for I would say it's okay for a grind tile if you wanted to spend spell charges, but at the same point,
No, you do a lot better with the metal slime.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give that one a second look.
I agree with you there. I 100% agree with you there. Also, I do not think Spellzapp has checked TFC yet. TFC, of course, being the one chest that is in C-Spine that is locked in. Ooh, we have a carry fight spotting.
We got the Kraken floor here.
Sorry, Kraken.
Brack was level 7, so we don't have access to that. But Fades and Nukes are available, so we'll see how this goes.
Also, I might note that since we know where the loot is, depending on where Tiamat rolled, Spellzapp might be in no mode. Also, it looks like we will have a slab turn in, and that is a ribbon. A ribbon -3. Still having the one absorb, since nothing can roll lower than a run, but that is a very good pickup.
Yeah, when all you're using is an iron helmet anyways, that's no absorb to speak of, so that's still going to be very worth it.
Oh, very true, very true.
Let's see how Spellzapp does here against Kraken. Chad, what do you think? Is Spellzapp going to pull this out? Level 19, full health?
Having some
Fate going to
nukes,
get it done, or Revenge of the Kraken?
also having some nukes, some tempers, that Saber Gauntlet. Swinging for 2 hits, 2 damage. And ooh, Kraken is hitting hard.
I feel like you underestimated the Kraken there.
A little.
You took it lightly before we got in here. I was warning. I was exercising caution.
I mean, it's usually some evade, so that is good.
Heal 3 stick is a nice pickup on Thunderclaude's side.
Oh, I am a huge fan of a heal 3 item no matter what. In a few practice seeds I've done, having just like a heal helmet roll to an axe roll heal 3. When getting to those, I have legitimately just tried to run a friendly, okay. Like, people that have that, okay, you two give me general healing, especially when you don't have much healing. It's very useful.
Fire 3 stick pickup for Thunderclaude. This floor big on the sticks, and that is a lot of free fire 3 charges. Cracking down for Spellzapp.
I mean, it's no boomstick, aka the nuke on a stick, but it is very good.
Actually was full, it looks like, on inventory there before the fight and had to re-pick it up, but a very valid pickup, especially because it can give you somebody else to cast. So he put it on the black belt, who can't really do that much damage right now, but you start throwing a fire 3 out there, and even if it's chip damage, it's good.
Too true. Again, our runners exit out, but since they cannot save on the overworld, and I do not... And still, neither of them have opted to see what happens when they wipe without taking a reset to see if the actual save after a wipe is on, which we do know it is, alongside the Dragon Quest mode for it, which basically halves your gold, puts you back in Corneria, but you do get to keep all the items and other stuff, which is true for the normal save after a wipe, but also looks like we did get the promotions.
Yep, this is what Spellzapp was set up for, and 19's a pretty good level to do it at. Now, go on with the rest of the game. Actually, I think he reset out of it.
Yep, I believe so.
It's a little surprising to me just because I feel like that's really what Spellzapp was set up to do. But again, I'll go back to equipment just really hasn't been there for class change.
Agreed. But opting to go for that metal slime tile yet again.
Now, this is making sense in light of what Crabcakes has said in chat, which is get more spell charges of life to cure 4. So clear out a few metal slimes easily enough, and then you'd be able to take that class change and get more benefit out of it. That does make sense.
Oh,
Gee, if only you had done this 30 minutes. I'm gonna try.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
These are better runners than I am.
Oh, don't worry. I plan to ask him, did they think about actually trying to see if saving after a wipe was on? And I'm pretty sure I'm going to give some, I won't say explicit thoughts on that one, but more of banging, basically face palming to see why they didn't check earlier when we get them in for an interview, if they choose to have one.
Also, let me note that Spellzapp is getting considerably more experience per fight now because of the additional key item pickups from when we were here before. And I also want to note a little technique Spellzapp is doing here, which is walking along that wall that has the door on it, because you won't get any random encounters there. So this is just a free fight. There'll never be a random encounter as long as he keeps doing left to right movement.
Also, we did find the Opal Cheerio, although it rolled -5 on Thunderclaude's side in the Mirage 1, trophy chests.
So Thunder is exploring this floor for treasure that we didn't get to see earlier. Spellzapp looks happy with the increased stats, spell charges, HP for future mages, all that fun stuff. And Matoya is still missing for us.
As is the Tiamat floor, Bridge of Destiny.
So still some significant things missing, and we've only seen the one ribbon pop up.
Oh, very, very true. And of course, Thunder opting to get out of dodge and probably raise the party member, save, and then go back in. While on Spellzapp side, finally upgrading. Though I do wonder, and I do not know this, and if anybody in chat does know this, please let me know. Uh, if when promoting, if you have an item equipped that the character could no longer equip, does it stay equipped until they unequip it? Although I think it does, as I believe, was that? Nah, I'm not sure on that one. Thought I saw one of the black mages still rocking a saber, but I could be wrong there.
It kept all the old equipment on, but Spellzapp actually got rid of a bunch of stuff for whatever reason. Randomizer is nice.
Ah, yes it is.
Well, it's low enough HP that you'd be able to solo grind it, but we don't have a trap tile for it, at least not that we've seen yet.
It's always the yet. So we'll go see the Agama floor now.
Double zombie dragon's a pretty nice encounter on its face, except the HP looks too high.
I mean, having Lit 3, some Harm 4, and Fire 3 stick isn't that bad.
No, but I'm looking at could the Black Belt solo it with the Fire 3 stick, and the answer is no. Because when in doubt, a level 40 Black Belt is usually gonna make good work of the rest of your seed.
I agree with you there. Level 42. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was right with that is the answer to everything, especially in this game.
At least to a lot of things. Spellzapp gonna get those level 2 spells. There's also a Grey Worm trap tile I don't think we've seen yet. That'll be here.
Yep.
Nope, Thunderclaude's gonna skip it.
I mean, I don't blame them, but at the same point, I do believe they still don't know if Butter Tile Treasure is on, and a few other things. And ouch, 2 gold and a heal pot.
I don't think we've seen past this floor yet, so that'll be interesting.
We have not.
And these wizards are just annoying because they've rolled up in stats, but not in experience, so they're just not worth our time.
Yep. Also, Spellzapp finding a Tyro fight and opting to get down. Also, Opal Armor.
-4 is not great, but honestly, for what we've been running around with, it's probably still better.
So true. And we found the Asterix floor, also known as Sky 2. Let's see, is the incentivized there? The canal. A little late on that one.
Just a bit. But hey, still plus 10%.
Oh, too true. Also, finding the volcano entrance floor into Sky 3. Into a Volcano 3? I believe that's Volcano 3, or is it 4 or 5?
It's more lava is what it is.
Yes, that's true. Into the Sky Maze.
I mean, I'm sensing a theme here.
Sky, sky, sky! Anyway, we have into Mars Basement 1.
And we've already gotten the treasures off this floor from the linked side, as Spellzapp's gonna grab the chime. And the great mystery is what's on the other side of this staircase.
We have yet to see the Mars split out, if I recall, and the greed chest in Sea Shrine.
Cremate coming out from the angry shark. He's on fire today.
Yep. Not wanting to be sushi tonight.
There's the
Ooh,
vampire
floor.
You have the rod, so the exploration continues.
It keeps going and going and going, and I really wish that Temple of Fiends had been in a dungeon like this. Gotta enjoy that real deep topher.
And Spellzapp is finally going to check out what the chime leads to.
Also having some steak and wings, as some people like to call this fight.
Now these mummies will go down quite easily. We saw early that they are very low HP.
Oh, very true. So lots of good tasty experience from them. Well, Thunderclaude wasn't here earlier, but we set out and we found Matoya.
We did? I don't think we saw that earlier, but we did see the treasure. So maybe there was a Matoya check and I just missed it.
We did not.
A-lit hammer, so that's not that good. That's the Thor hammer.
Yep, and we did not. Thunderclaude ended up resetting out once getting to the floor, did not get a chance to check the treasure chests.
Slime's on the earth trap tile.
Sunsword -1, Katana -5 again, and nothing good in greater than less than room, I believe. But opting to equip that Katana at -5, though.
That's gonna be questionable between the two. Sun does not have a great crit rate, is the biggest issue with it.
Oh, too true, too true. And looks like we'll have a Castle of Reveals check. Thunder on the second speed bump.
Yeah, I like to check when you're missing things and you're kind of deep into the seed like we are. Vanilla Ruby. When you come to an out-of-the-way place like this, it's definitely a chance to pick up something your opponent hasn't done yet.
Oh, very true. And Spellzapp on Sharknado. Not opting to check the Sharknado chest.
We finally found the room I called for early.
Let's see, silver, and some money. So not much from the dragons tonight, but we found the Mars split. Now we still haven't seen what's beyond the cube block, but finding another Cardia Island.
We were missing a lot of these early, so makes sense that we're getting them all of a sudden.
Yep, very, very true. And Thunderclaude, using a decent amount of game knowledge, warping back out twice to make it a lot faster to check the other split.
Ah, the fun little tricks that are possible because of Randomizer, much like the Ice Cave play, where you can get all 3 treasure checks from one warp cast. You couldn't do that vanilla because you had to have class change, but when Randomizer puts stuff in a different order, you can just do so much fun stuff.
Yep, and another volcano floor.
As you pointed out earlier, still missing that Bridge of Destiny. It's the last fiend that is needed by Spellzapp, who definitely has the lead in the orb count. As far as progress, I'm not really sure which way I would say on that front, but
also
it feels like if Thunderclaude had any advantage, that Spellzapp is closing it quickly.
Also, we have found the... Ooh, that's an endgame weapon.
And that is a class change weapon, so finally I've seen something that tells me this is a seed, it's a good idea to class change.
Also, Thunderclaude finding the mermaids, while Spellzapp has found the armory.
Flight -1 isn't going to be great, but still a significant upgrade from what we've had.
Also, there was a ribbon in there, too, on the mermaid side.
This is going to be a tough call now, I think, for Thunderclaude, in that you've got that weapon that needs the class change, but you've got the Black Belt who can trump class change, and I think that was a gold bracelet -3, which is very unfortunate.
Oh, very, very true.
Wear +5, on the other hand, is quite nice.
Yes, indeedy.
Although I don't think it's going to outpace the Sun Sword -1. One of these days I will open up a chart for these things when I'm doing this. But...
I feel you on that one. Also, Crabcakes in chat pointing out they don't think Thunder is thinking about promoting. But we'll see what's after that. Caesar Iron Floor. The bottom of Mars now.
There's a couple things we can check here. Again, there hasn't been a lot of reason to class change. There is now a reason to class change if you're Thunderclaude. But that's only one reason.
Oh, too true, too true. We haven't seen, like, a good... Ooh, red D-trap tile.
I think we saw them as kind of high on their HP earlier.
Also, just a bit of money on Spellzapp's side from the Vanilla Wizard chest. Spellzapp giving us a look at the other Marshlock location.
I think when Spellzapp was here earlier, he didn't check any of these rooms, either the treasures or trap tiles, so Thunder are doing more exploration at this point. But honestly, with the Fire 3 stick, probably can solo the slimes with the Black Belt. I would not mind seeing that play right now, especially when you'd be talking about 60,000 experience per fight.
And Spellzapp finding the herb.
We do have access to Elfland and the Prince, so another item available.
Looks like, yeah, that Black Belt will be able to solo this fight. Should Thunderclaude choose to do so.
It's worth so much, honestly, you might even not solo it, but... Oh, wow! 73! They are really low on their HP.
Yeah, Trent, would you try soloing this for the quick 42 for Black Belt? Or minimum 32? Or would you go for the whole party?
This... I don't like the idea of taking a whole party to 50, so if I'm going to do the really high level, I would only do it with 1-2 characters. If I'm going to do all 4, I'm going to do something more modest, like 25-26.
Also, with that fighter down, this is going to be even more experience. Also, we will see a herb tournament really quickly. Looks like, yeah, Thunder's thinking what you're thinking, and we found the crown. Yeah, this is going to be an watch that Black Belt shoot up fast.
And taking advantage of the heal, I'll love that as well. Now, they're still hitting pretty hard, so you're going to have to keep healed up to do this. But as long as you are a little mindful, all should be well. 18,000 per fight. I'm going to at least 42 if I'm doing this. And honestly, an hour in, I might be going even higher. I might do 45 and just count on the rest of the game to give me 50.
Oh, agreed. At minimum, I'd say even worse, like 38, 39-ish, to where you know the rest of the game will give you that minimum of 42. And there's already level 30.
Basically, the way I look at level grinding is the earlier I do it, the less levels I need. The later I do it, the more levels I need, because that's the only way they really pay off.
And as a positive, as Case is pointing out in chat, if dying to a ambush will maybe be our first runner to note that they do keep their levels, and like once they emote, I mean, not heroic. Once they take a wipe, and I think Thunder still has that black belt equipped with things.
Yeah, it does. Kind of wasting that pure because you're in all likelihood going to get poisoned again. You have Stinger, so you're very likely to get poisoned yet again. 2 HP per walk is not a lot.
Also, getting a lot of XP at 33 right now, 35 right now.
You know, sometimes we forget these quality of life things that have been added in, but stuff like the ability to level up multiple times per fight and how much faster those level up messages go right now. Huge props to the dev team for all that quality of life that's been added.
And remember, if you all are enjoying this Irongol Heavy Metal Championship between Spellzapp and Thunderclaude, please remember to give them a follow if you want to see more interesting. If you want to see them run more interesting and crazy seeds.
This also tells me, by the way, that Thunderclaude is not going to class change, because there's no reason to give up these levels on a black belt.
And finally, unequipping the equipment, and I 100% agree with you there. I 100% agree with you there.
Especially 42. I mean, you'd have to have a high-level knight with the Masamune being plus before you're going to outdo 42 black belt, so yeah, we've got clearly divergent strategies between the two runners.
Agreed, agreed. So we'll have a Saitama coming up, aka One Punch Man. At 41.
Also, the magic defense goes up considerably for the black belt, so if you're short a ribbon or two, it's a good compromise that's not as effective, but it's pretty effective.
Also, re-equipping those equipment. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the black belt does lose some defense when it is equipped with items.
If you equip things, you lose the innate physical defense, but you're keeping the magic defense. If you don't equip anything, you're going to get the innate defense, and then it's subject to whether or not you've got the check on for black belt equipment, which is almost always on by default, so people even forget it's a thing. But the vanilla behavior was it would reset to the innate defense on level up. So if you had the Opal bracelet on at level 3 and leveled up to level 4, in the vanilla game, that black belt's defense would reset to the level 4 defense, unless you had a weapon equipped.
And Thunderclaude done with their grind, their black belt being stupidly good now, will definitely be able to finish almost everything off, although I believe we have the alt final bosses on, so depending on what those end up being.
There is no scenario in which a high-level black belt hurts you, because even if it's Lich and friends, you've got a lot more HP at your disposal.
I 100% agree with you there.
Alright, so we will see what kind of progress we can make. Now, the other big thing is that does for Thunderclaude is you probably don't care about equipment anymore. So you can just go mode everything the rest of the way if it's not progression.
Too true, although resetting out of, what was Vitoya's item again? The Ruby?
A-lit hammer, it's the hammer.
Sorry. Forgot on that one.
Meanwhile, Spellzapp's up in the 25 range, so that's quite the contrast there with the levels as you go strat, and Probably still gonna gain another 5 and be level 30 before Temple of Fiends Revisited.
More than likely. Also, Thunderclaude picking up their life 2 on that white mage. Now opting to go starting to take out some of those fiends. This will be a very quick carry fight. Punch, punch, kick, 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 punch. Gotta believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't even waste time with spells. I would just
Yeah.
have everybody else wait.
For 10 hits, 994 damage, and carry 1 is down.
So Chad asked about this earlier, and it was pointed out, but I'll emphasize it for the broadcast. The black belt doesn't have such a high hit rate that if that was transferred to the red wizard in this case, the red wizard would hit for 10 times. The red wizard would hit 5 times with a weapon equipped. It's 2 attacks because of the bare fists. If he had the Masamune on instead, he would be like 5-6 attacks.
Oh, very, very true. Also, looks like, we forgot that Thunderclaude does have the rupee. I forget where they got that, as it's sadly not marked on the tracker.
It was vanilla. It was behind the vampire.
Oh yeah, that is right.
So Spellzapp should be about to pick that up soon, and we will see if there's a payoff for getting it.
More than likely, it's the cube.
That could be a payoff.
And we have still yet to find the Tiamat floor.
That would be why it could still be a payoff.
I know. But Spellzapp finding another metal slime tile.
Also, another quality of life thing that is just subtle, and sometimes you have to take a step back and appreciate them. There's less bats on this floor than vanilla. A couple of them have been moved.
Also a Grey Worm tile on that one, but let's see, we found Bridge of Destiny.
I think that means cube will not be required. So this should be total go mode for Thunderclaude, I believe.
Cube is required as it was the cube brought to Tiamat.
Fair enough. I was looking over at Spellzapp's side, shame on me.
It's okay. It does happen. Need to update the tracker a bit, but either way, at least on our end, don't know if it's showing that or not, because I'm not looking at the Randomizer stream. Sorry, y'all. Do have chat up, though, but still.
It'll get there, it's fine. So these Red Hydra is a little bit high on their HP, and taking a while to get rid of them. Good news is they're a good source of experience.
And looks like we have a required war mech tonight.
What's your favorite Warmech quote?
I really don't have one on that one. However, this should hopefully go down really fast. Also, Spellzapp finding mermaids. Zap. Oh god!
That is insane!
Luckily, Spellzapp did save. So next one. Thunderclaude did save, so they do have the actual stuff on that one, although having to go back and pick up that cube, as they did not actually save before then, but they will probably immediately run back, save, and then immediately go and get that, Tiamat orb lit.
So that was not zapped through a ribbon, but zapped through level 40 magic defense on a black belt is just about as bad.
But opting to equip armor on that one. So I do not know if that's higher defense than what would normally have or not. Would you say it is Thunder's race to lose right now?
Spellzapp still has the advantage of the orb count and really just needs that ruby. Well, maybe still needs the loot as well, actually.
Does need the loot, but I believe knows where that loot is. As the loot was from the, should have the ruby here, so should get the cube here. Zap, zap, ineffective, ineffective.
Alright, he's got this now.
Yep.
I was trying to look and see about the magic defense, and I'm not seeing anything on there, so this should be...
Also, Bane ineffective.
The magic defense should be very good here, and Warmac not that high on MP.
Also, level 46.
Big thing is the white mage survived, so this is a pretty risk-free Tiamat.
Yep.
Now Spellzapp is going to have the ribbon, and they're going to be pretty close to each other in go mode here.
Let's see, 9 hits, 1200 change damage, Invis 2 coming out. Let's see, another bonking on that one, some temper coming out, some punching, 2 hits, 92 damage. Tiamat's probably not going to be long for this world. So Invis, yep, Tiamat 1 is down.
Okay, took me a minute to find the flag, but in fact, the inverted magic defense is on. So that was much lower magic defense than I was expecting when he got zapped there.
Don't know if they realize it or not, but looks like Spellzapp will be on their way to Tiamat real quick.
Still has to get through Warmac, and that Warmac doing plenty of unpleasant things. We'll see how the survival goes here.
Oh, very true. Very, very true.
I do think he has 2 ribbons equipped.
I believe you are right on that one. Right now, Thunderclaude, does he know where Kraken is? No, but does know where Lich is, so immediately going to go, punch the speed bump and, pick up their 3rd orb.
Yeah, so we should see Spellzapp with the orb slit before Thunderclaude is able to, but then still will need that loot pickup.
Which is a very quick check. Also, Thunderclaude getting the Lich fight down.
Yeah, I feel like if you're throwing out Fade and Nuke with your Knight and Ninja, it's going to show how bad the weapons are in this seed.
Also, Warmac getting down most of the party on Spellzapp's side, having to fade down it with their taking a wipe.
It was a low HP Warmac, but nothing else was low. And that was a lot of death that Warmac had access to. But at least one of those party members got either baned or zapped through a ribbon.
I believe it was Bane. But, let's see, Thunderclaude opting to, they know where Carrie is?
Yeah, this should be the hunt for Kraken.
Yep, Kraken, sorry. One of the ones with K.
It's all okay.
And Thunderclaude getting to Kraken. Getting to the Kraken floor.
Well, it looks like because of that Warmac, Spellzapp has opted to go do a level grind, so this has just shifted the balance considerably, because Thunderclaude shouldn't have any trouble getting past Warmac, and then as long as he's got the path to Temple of Fiends remembered, should absolutely be the first runner in there.
Oh, very true. Although still having the ribbon equipped to their black belt, just in case anything does happen. So that shark goes down really quick. Level 47 on that black belt.
Hey, really quick, I want to point out, I just double-checked myself on this. We do not have short Temple of Fiends, so they're gonna have to go through the whole thing!
Yep, and they do, however, have access to life too. At least Thunderclaude does. I believe Spellzapp does as well from the pre-promote White Mage, but I do not remember if they picked it up with 9 hits, over 1,000 damage. Kraken 1 goes down, and Thunderclaude is our first runner to pick up their 4th orb.
So total go mode now for Thunderclaude. We'll have to make the long descent into Temple of Fiends Revisited, 4 Fiends Revisited to go through.
We'll save first, and let's see how this one goes. Of course, remembering where it is, opting to walk down, around. Let's see how this Temple of Fiends is going to go.
As far as the randoms go, I don't think we saw anything in particular that was scary as far as the randoms that we would see here. Of course, we have no idea what the revisited bosses have, except we know a lot of those death spells aren't in the pool because Warmech had them. But we've not seen any of the nukes, nuclears, that kind of stuff, so there's plenty of awfulness that's potential here.
Also, ironically, Vanilla Phantom, which does not offer a lot of defense, although we have not seen a good endgame weapon. Glare coming out, punching 10 hits over 1100 damage. Although, let's see, using the loot, so opting for some Pure 4 on that Black Belt. Again, the Black Belt still having a ribbon equipped thanks to not having as much magic defense as normal, so having to take a hit on the physical defense for now.
So think about what that tells us is that Phantom probably means that Lich and Phantoms would be the most unpleasant of the alternate final bosses. Although, then again, 2 Armax with all their death spells could really wreak havoc on you.
Oh, very true. And with that type of a fight, getting there, you are probably not resetting out. You're going to hold A and pray until, to the bitter end. So that might actually be somewhat beneficial information, yet not beneficial information to our runners. As, ooh, an unrunnable Metal Slimes too. But opting for some fire too, because honestly, Metal Slimes rolled under 100 HP. In fact, under 80 if I recall you said.
Well, under 60 there. So
under
47 and 60.
Yeah, under 60. Yeah, that's still
Meanwhile, Spellzapp's worked up into the level 32 range. I'm not sure how high you're going to go here, but I go back to what I said earlier. If you're going to do a late level grind, always go higher. Always go higher, because you ran into a roadblock, and you do not want to go back and grind levels a second time.
Oh, too true, too true. And level 48 for that black belt.
Shuffling the equipment a bit, and I like that a lot. Make sure that it's in places where things can be useful. You don't want the black belt with the heal stick when the black belt needs to be punching things.
Oh, very true.
Up to the Lich floor now. Of course, notably in vanilla, Lich would have his opening spell being Nuke, so usually you're not doing that bad in Randomizer, because it almost inevitably is going to roll better than that.
Oh, very, very true. And Thunderclaude doing the optimal play of when needing to run and having to take a couple things, opting to just constantly, just throw out that heal 3 stick on the White Mage while having the other party members try to run. I'm actually a huge fan of doing that during a lot of fights when you just want to, run, but you want to make sure to maintain HP as well.
Here we go, our first look at one of the Fiends Revisited. It is the Lich.
There's a puns for over 1,000 damage. Lich 2 goes down. Really squishy Lich, although having a decent amount of HP.
1100, so it's more than vanilla, but still low enough that we were able to kill it in one round, which is a good sign. It does mean, however, that he's too high to be wiped out with an AoE nuke kind of thing.
Wait, what? Where's Warmack on Spellzapp's side?
Gone. He only had like 500-600 HP. He was just
I
dead.
don't
Otherwise.
think Spellzapp beat Warmack.
Did NPC Guillotine work off Dragon Warrior mode?
Question mark?
Chad, feel free to clip that and do an instant replay.
Especially going back and seeing if or if not Spellzapp managed to get down Warmack.
He came in level 32, so I wasn't questioning his ability to get past it. I wasn't paying enough attention. I was trying to see what the Fiends Revisited had.
Yeah, same, but managed to get down Carry 2 really quickly on Thunderclaude's side.
Tiamat 1 being a little more stubborn. And Water Floor is a good source of experience if you need to top anything off before facing the final 3.
Oh.
But Invis 2 from the Sea Trolls, that could make them a little bit annoying.
Most definitely.
So chat says Warmack was not even there. That tells me it was NPC Guillotine. So Warmack's going away, and then because he didn't reset, Warmack didn't respawn. So it's just one of those funny flag interaction things.
I think they did reset, because I don't remember them going back to Corneria, but that's something I think the devs are going to have to look at. But we have Kraken 2 hits, 464 damage, some Invis 2 coming out, some Invis on that Black Belt as well, some Lit 2 coming out from Kraken 2, Fast comes out on that Black Belt, some more Invis 2 stacks, some, assuming that was damage on that one, some more Invis 2, oh, Lock coming out, ineffective though.
And Spellzapp enters the Temple of Fiends Revisited, so the race is on.
But 6 hits, over 600 some damage, and Kraken 2 goes down. Oof! Oh god. This throws it all in the air.
Gasties are wonderful amounts of experience if they're easy enough to kill. Level 33, so he absolutely did not kill Warmack, or he would have been a higher level than that. But I missed what happened to Thunderclaude.
Lost the White Mage, lost the Black Mage on the Kraken on the Kraken 2 fight.
Not enough reason for me to reset. You got a 42 black belt. Keep going.
You had nearly a level 50 black belt too, but I don't think I had enough heal potions.
I don't care. You're that deep. It takes you that much time to...
Oh, I agree with you there. I agree. 100%.
It's something we had to really get used to a couple spring tournaments ago. It was just so fast to get into Temple of Fiends Revisited that your levels were never comfortable. You were lower level than you wanted to be.
Also, it looks like Spellzapp reset out after the, how big the, act... Oh!
Loot.
Oh, loot! Loot!
That's a biggie. Yeah, so that puts it right back in Thunderclaude's reach again, or at least to his advantage. But we had a couple spring tournaments ago, we were getting into Temple of Fiends Revisited with low levels, like you might be level 18 to 21 on your fighter. And you just had to go. You had to try and see if you were going to be able to clear it, because you were giving up too much if you tried to do it all over again.
Oh, 100% agree with you there. 100% agree with you there. I was in that tournament, so I 100% agree with you there. But looks like both of them are going to be near neck and neck going in.
Alright, here's the one thing I don't like on Thunderclaude's part. You've wiped basically twice. You need to kill all this stuff. You need to grab a couple more levels. There's no reason you should wipe a third time.
And they're on the same
Except
floor.
for the seed being that bad. But yeah, get anything you can here to give you an advantage, because the way I should say that is, you do not ever want to wipe a third time.
Most definitely. And Thunder actually now not having a lot of luck on that one. It's going to be interesting to see how Spellzapp's luck is.
Yeah, and obviously Chad's saying you don't want to wipe the first time. It's not that you want to, but you have to. It's a question of planning. Strategizing, okay, what's my strategy to get through here the first time? And if the first time doesn't work, okay, was it just RNG? If it was just RNG, I'll try it a second time. If I'm facing it a third time, it's like, okay, this is more than RNG. I've got to have a plan that overcomes RNG.
Oh, very, very true. And Thunderclaude getting a few unrunnable fights, so this is slowing them down a little bit. But level 48 again on that black belt, and this is what, third unrunnable fight in a row?
Well, the good news is maybe Topher is kind of forcing him into that, getting just a little bit more.
Too true. Though that does beg the question of when or if Spellzapp will have to deal with that as well. Also opting to take the Phantom fight just because of how strong the Phantom was hitting. And I don't blame them. Swinging for hits change again?
I know it stinks not to have your life caster, but to me that's not enough reason to leave Temple of Fiends. Unless you are going to more level ups.
I think honestly Thunder is worried on that one, as it's an hour 48 in, knows how good of a runner Spellzapp is, and is worried that Temple of Fiends is going to be that bad, as neither player has finished yet.
We got all the way to Kraken, so he has a very good sense of what this Temple of Fiends is. And as chat points out, that was awful RNG, that it targeted the white mage. So okay, the first time I'd be alright with that and starting over, but you have a 50 black belt. You gotta go until it stops you, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, I'm not gonna say Thunder handing Spellzapp the seed at present, but it's Spellzapp's probably going to have to wipe again, and
my opinion, sitting here, I think this is a case of the seed is getting to Thunderclaude a little bit. That the fact that he didn't clear Kraken to the first time, I think that's still resonating with him. In his mind, he's got to have that life too to be able to get all the way to Chaos. And I just think that's what's stuck in his head right now.
More than likely on that one. And I won't say I don't blame them, as I know as a runner, I've done that before. Trenton, I don't want to assume here, but you've done that before, right?
I did, but again, back to that same spring tournament, it was known for its man mode fighters, where you just had to take that fighter in with the Maso. Which party member got killed there? That went so fast.
White. Again.
Okay, if you're gonna level up, okay, but don't just go back into that fight right now. That's the only thing I don't want to see.
This is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking.
But that said, it is RNG, so statistically speaking, you're talking about over a 75-80% chance that it will not target that white mage. Plus, even if it's going to target the white mage, there's still the chance that you're going to get the crits with the black belt and kill it before it can anyways. So we're talking about, not to do math while live on Twitch, a very high chance of just clearing this fight, and it's not working out.
I am feeling horrible for Thunder right now.
And again, trying to get into his head, which is a dangerous thing to try and think is how somebody else thinks, but that's probably what is going through his mind is, this is just such a horrible chance for me that I'm going to do so much better if I can just get by it, and now this should be the fight.
Yep. And, this... to go so close.
And maybe if it wasn't the Phantom, maybe if it was Lich, he wouldn't do that. Because the Phantom is that early in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Most definitely. But Spellzapp won the Kraken 2 fight, opting to fast up that fighter. I don't know what that fighter has equipped right now, though.
The gear just hasn't been great. The gear is low, your absorb is low, your defense is low. We've seen one ribbon out of the... I think one ribbon for Thunderclaude.
2, I think, but opting to temper up again. Also, let's see some more nuke coming out, some swings with that black mage, over 100 some damage, nuke coming out for 130 some, I think, 5 hits, 502 damage, and Spellzapp gets Kraken 2 down.
Oh, apparently that's another thing going on I didn't know, is we're into hex values for spells now. So, I'm not sure how deep in the alphabet we go with that. We've already had that existing for the heal potions.
I don't think that's supposed to be that way, but, again, these are alpha flags. Also, Spellzapp on TF2, swinging for 1 damage, swinging, tempering up that fighter, that knight, losing up that knight, tempering up again, swinging for a bunch of damage from that from Tiamat 2 on that black wizard, tempering up again, swinging again for nothing, swinging again for 1 damage, swinging again for 2 hits, 255 damage. That one black wizard goes down, tempering up again. Let's see, going for some temper again, swinging again, 60 damage, swinging again, 1 damage, swinging again, 5 hits, 190, tempering again. Is it wrong of me to actually want to root for Tiamat here? Also, another one of these black mages go down, 5 hits, 95 damage, lock coming out, ineffective. Tempering up again, swinging, 504 damage, 2 hits, 210 damage. Ruse coming out again. Swinging, Tiamat missing there. Swinging again. 3 hits, 400 and change damage, and Spellzapp gets it done. Also having life 2 on that actual fighter is going to be huge for him. On that night.
We still have a bit of a race because Thunderclaude can get through these fiends faster, but Spellzapp is up to chaos, so the advantage is his.
Yes, it is. So let's see what we got tonight, folks. And we have Lich and Friends.
Okay, this is probably the worst we could have seen just because those phantoms can probably one-shot every member of his party.
Oh.
If they get the chance.
Yes. Those Liches are going to be annoying, but let's see, Zap coming out, ineffective, oh. Okay. So this is going to be a thing.
That's not bad news to get the Liches down because they had a lot of HP.
Yeah. Lance coming out, ineffective, Zap coming out, ineffective. Ew. Nuke. Fast on that one. Thunder is going to be, I won't say kicking themselves, but
I actually would have liked the all nukes and fade strats there once the Liches were down.
Getting down both of those, rusing up. Come on, Phantoms. missing with that one.
I think he's got the 3 ruses on now, so he should be
Blaze
at
coming
max
out.
evade already.
Missing. Yeah, but they still survive. Who's
Another
coming out again?
good rolls could do this.
Let's go Phantoms. It's gonna be close.
Gonna harm 4. I think he'd actually do a little bit more with Fade.
Miss, harm 4. This will... Yeah, more than likely on that one. Swing, miss again. This is gonna be close.
I agree with the Cure 4. You're too low on HP.
Blaze coming out. Attacking coming out. Also, Thunderclaude is on the same fight again. Opting for some Fade. This will probably finish it off. Toxic coming out, ineffective. Fade coming out. Not killing him yet.
Keep throwing them till you run out.
Come on, Phantoms. On both sides. Fade coming out again. A little bit of damage, taking down one of them. Come on, hit.
This should
Fade
get 2 of them.
Yeah, this... nope, 2 survive. Missing. Blaze coming out again.
You're in pretty good shape here. Yeah, go ahead. He's gonna do the attack and he's saving the Cure 4. That makes sense. So you should be able to one-shot this here. And GG.
Yep, GG. That was close.
And Thunder has left the Temple of Fiends Revisited. I think he already saw the done at that point. Well, chat, did you enjoy it?
And Spellzapp still our champion. So Spellzapp retains. Let's see if we can drag both of them in here.
And biggest thing I like about what Spellzapp did when you just look at it from a distance, he went into Temple of Fiends once. He didn't like what he saw. He took the wipe. He went back and got levels and then went back in. So it was only 2 dives.
Agree. And we are joined by our winner and still champion, Spellzapp. Spellzapp, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself, Mages?
Holding up. Got a question for you.
Yep.
Did you think of actually seeing what would happen if you wiped and didn't reset?
Well, I didn't know about. I mean, I knew that flag existed, but I hadn't played with it until today. I think it needs a little bit of work because it let me just sort of walk right by that war mech.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that one. So the save after a party wipe was on.
Right. I think that's what broke the war mech and let me just walk right by him the second time through.
Also, we did have the Dragon Quest version of that one, which I do not know if or if not that was working properly or not, because I think I
took him back to the last inn he saved at. So that was the last town he was actually in. That's where he went back to. So again, I'm pretty sure that's what broke Warmech.
Yeah.
Guillotine.
There would also be some strangeness with spell charges. I seem to be getting quite a few spell charges on my ninja and my knight.
I was looking to see what that flag would even be under. I don't even see it as anything that I could tell, but yeah, it did look like we were into hex values there.
Yeah, so a lot of fun though. I mean, a lot of new flags that I have never tried actually. This is the first time trying them. But that was a lot of fun.
I mean, it was really close. You were actually behind going into Temple of Fiends.
I can buy that, yeah, because I was doing a lot of safety saves. I went to that giant dungeon a long time after, left that for last. Kind of didn't give up on, I had a good idea that it could be no loose. I didn't give up on that as quick as I should have. I probably should have gone for no loose sooner. but I want some armor and weapons and whatnot.
Yeah, that seed was not good for endgame weapons on that one. Also, I mean, what was your thoughts on the party classes you chose? Did you plan for the pre-mode or just for if I find the tail, I might pre-mode? Thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't actually know how it worked, so I didn't save. I took a look at it and did it once, just dip my foot in and then try it again. But the way I originally thought it would work was it would level you up from 0, and then you'd get all your spell slots that you would normally get. But now it's more like multi-classing in like a tabletop where you start to gain levels in something else instead of that. But it wasn't exactly how I thought it worked, but it actually ended up working pretty well with not unequipping the black mages after they promoted, so they could wear some pretty decent armor. Really weird to see a black mage out front with 600 HP, but just randomizer things.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the devs are going to have to go back and look at the alpha site because a few of them, the guillotining a war mech and a few other things. Definitely, I think they're going to have to go back and look at the actual alpha site on that one.
Well, hey, this is what alpha exists for. It's a chance to just put stuff out there, see what works and what doesn't. People test them, they find stuff, and that's how good stuff comes to the main version where things are stable because they got to be tested and put through the ringer first.
Very true.
Well,
So,
so have any other thoughts on this one?
No, big thanks to Falconic for coming up with these flags. You could see that they were pretty well thought out, and all the pieces sort of worked well together. Big shout out to you two for doing comms for me today, and then obviously big shout outs to Danny for tracking.
I mean, we also have the Duckling Derby coming up tonight. So the final run for that. So that's going to be an interesting watch.
There's also a lot ahead here on Randomania for keeping you up on your randomizer needs. Feel free to enjoy all of the great content on the Randomania family of channels.
I also recommend if you want to keep up on some of the backlog, popping in and checking out their YouTube channel. I believe it's the same thing, Endermedia, or on YouTube. You can probably Google that, well, not search it in YouTube and find it. And I highly recommend checking out the VODs of some of the past things that they have hosted and stuff like that.
We even did a live Final Fantasy randomizer on YouTube one time on Randomania's channel. So, anyways, that's about all I've got. We saw some great play out of Spellzapp. He made it happen and defended the title again today. So, hope everybody has had a wonderful Saturday afternoon enjoying